Hello and welcome to BeamNG.drive. Today I'm taking a look at the Nissan Skyline R34. Let's start by taking a look at the outside. This is how it looks like. This is a very cool looking car, sports Japanese vehicle. Outside from the front, side once again, and we are back. And if we go on the inside, we have a standard early 2000 interior, quite simple. However, in this mod you can toggle something. You can toggle the settings you want to see on the screen, in the dash. You can see toggle MFD view. You can see you can cycle through some stats for the vehicle, even the the acceleration and the map that you can see from far away, but it works. And you can also reset the values if you want, if you don't like what you see. Then we can also reset the odometer view, toggle what do we want to see. So you can see that you can interact with some interior, which is nice. Now let's go back on the outside and go for a little drive. Now this is the standard configuration, so it should be the least powered of the configurations this mod has to offer. And it's still quite powerful. It has 342 horsepower, so it is quite strong. And even if it's a base sports vehicle, you can reach more than 270 km per hour of top speed. And it is quite a scary vehicle if you think about it, because it is a lot of speed on a standard sports car. And you can do it even in this map on the highway. I did try it. You can reach easily more than 270 km per hour. It is, however, very dangerous because you don't have space to brake in time, especially if you have traffic enabled. But anyway, on the driving side, it is a very pleasant driving experience. I did not have any issues with this. The handling is quite good and comfortable driving this car. The wheels don't spin in acceleration, which is quite nice. I like it. The brakes, however, are not the strongest. Consider that this is a standard, not proper city vehicle, but it is not a racing car, so the brakes are not the strongest. So keep that in mind, because you can be very deep into braking zones and rear-ending vehicles or smashing into walls. That's not ideal, if I can say so. But the ESC is quite invasive in some situations, but you can feel it is fighting for its life and yours, while still giving a very pleasant driving experience. Congratulations, Legrand, congratulations. And the sunburst, of course. Come on, guys. I'm going fast, but you have to notice that. But anyway, as you can see, I'm driving around in the city with people cutting the road, and I'm not having any issues. I'm driving quite fast and quite easily. Okay, that's a sunburst. Of course, always a sunburst. And we are stuck, okay. Some damage on this car, let's take a look at it. Because because even if the 3D model of the car fresh is quite good, because it is not a mod made from scratch, it is ported from some games. Many games gave some parts for this mod, so the creator combined all of them, which made a good result, but sometimes it can look quite soft. Now, this was a slow speed crash, and I'm lucky I didn't damage the steering wheel, because I would say the front suspensions are probably the weakest point of this car. I did some small curb touching inside corners, for example, and I bent the suspension, so it is quite fragile. Not always, but it can happen quite easily if you are not careful enough. That's why I'm not jumping in this situation, because I don't want damage to this car. Because apart from, and always, are you serious? A sunburst again? Yeah, as you can see, the front grille, some softness on the front under which side? The left light, and also on the other side some spiking. So the crash model could be a little bit better. Now, I've driven quite a while. Now, let's go and crash this car at a very high speed, hopefully, and maybe hitting another sunburst. Well, that was not a sunburst, that was a pessima, and I broke the steering. Yeah, that did break the steering, so I couldn't steer away, and this is the death of this Skyline. Now, let's see the damage. It is quite heavy because I bent the whole front. Look at this. That's nice destruction for this car. But sometimes the crash model doesn't look the cleanest out there. Other than that, it is just a smaller detail, just like the suspension, because this is a very nice car to drive. And now let's see what it has to offer. This mod comes with 12 configurations, which may not sound like an impressive number, but it's still quite good. I was driving the GTR, the red base configuration, which is quite similar to the V-Spec and the V-Spec 2. The other are sportier configuration than these three. These are more standard, city-oriented, but they're still quite powerful. There are two Nismo and a Mainz, and if you have played Gran Turismo, you know these configurations, these versions, because in GT3 to 6 maybe, there are a lot of these vehicles inside, a lot of versions, smaller differences, but quite a big number of this car. And it is nice to see them. There is also a drag configuration, in case you are a drag fan. There is, of course, we could not have it, the Skyline from the Fast and Furious franchise movies, which probably are the movies that made this car this famous, and it has the movie livery, which is very, very cool looking. And then there are some more racy versions. The race being probably the most balanced and the funniest of all these configurations. I really love this configuration. However, this mod has a downside that I don't like. If you spawn the top secret Fusion RR, as you download the mod from the repository, not the repository, sorry, this mod is only available in the forum. If you spawn this vehicle, it will have orange tires with no texture, because this mod has a dependence on another tire mod that at the moment I don't remember the name, but I will put the informations in the description so you can check it yourself. And that's a thing I don't like, because a mod that depends on another mod, yeah, it's not an ideal situation. If one of those if the tire mods creator doesn't keep up with it, you can have issues as well with this one, which is a thing I don't like. And I also really like the description of the Mainz Motorsport configuration, because it says, no, it's not yours, it's mine, because it's the Mainz Motorsport. This is exactly the type of joke I love. I love this kind of jokes. And now let's go and drive another configuration. And now I am at the Hirochi Raceway with the race configurations, because I want to do a lap of the track, because I really like this car. But first I want to modify some parts of it. First is the livery, because this being a race car, the livery is non-existent. It looks quite good and aggressive, but it's not what I want. So let's put on the Miami Street Racer, which is the Fast and Furious livery, so you can see it on the car. This is how it looks like, very cool looking. And also I want to do some lightning. First of all, it has the underglowing neons, as you can, in just the not the Fast and Furious, maybe in the Need for Speed style. I really love this thing. Let's put them in magenta. Okay, let's see. Okay, as you can see, these are the neons. And to turn them on, it's Alt N, yes. Glowing neons. Lovely. And also, it has 3 different rear lights, which I really love. It's small details like this that make me love this game this much, because these are the standard rear taillights. These are the Dulac configuration, as you can see, with this it remembers the Simon's game, which has the 4 colors, and it is cool looking in my opinion. And also it has the Nismo Z-Tune version, which again it looks quite unique and very, very lovely. Look at this. Small details, good results, lovely. And now I have now I have underglowing neons, 2 different taillights, a fast and furious paint job, and let's do a lap of the Hirochi Raceway. Now, the start from a standing point, it's quite slow, but as you can see, this car does not have an ESC, so this is all raw power and raw traction, and I really love it. And while it's not the fastest of the configurations this mod has to offer, it is by far the best in the handling compartment, maybe because it has the slick tires, but also the brakes. Okay, that was me being late, but the brakes are very strong on this car. I did some tests with other configurations, they were not near close to this level of braking, which is quite good to have a race car that brakes good, in my opinion. At least I love to be on point the one time a lap I can be, because I am not the best, but at least I want to brake when I want. And I love this weird look this car has with these different taillights. But anyway, it isn't the fastest, as you can see. Okay, that big cut on the track. No, please don't hit the walls. Okay, saved it. Nice. Flawless. But yeah, it's look sometimes slower than the standard configuration in certain situations, but the handling, it's the best. I like the handling. This car is very, very good to drive and to race. Now, let's find a good spot to crash this beautiful car, which is a shame because, yeah, it's beautiful. And then hopefully you will hear it. There is a cat screaming beside me. No, so now I have to pay attention to that, and I did a very, very lame crash, but I broke the steering on the left side. As you can see, I can't steer. So, fragile steering strikes again. I can still put down power, but the tire will fight against me. So this was the race configuration, and now let's do some final crashes. And the chosen victim for the descent is the Dulac configuration. This is how it looks. It has quite a unique rear spoiler, very unusual. And now let's crash this car because we can. Now, I'm not sure what do I want, so let's spin on the ramp. Okay, that was not a very big spin, but it was an attempt. Ooh, very fast rolling. Ooh, big crashes rolling down. Now it stopped and it's somersaulting now. Okay, bouncing a lot on the front and the rear. A lot of air and a final crash. Will it fall off on the side? It will fall off at the side. And landing, of course, on the side, not upside down. Okay, let's get back on the wheel and take a look at the damage, because the damage is not the cleanest. Oh, the spoiler. Hey, spoiler. The damage, as you can see, it's not the cleanest around. It is quite spiky. Sometimes small parts can jiggle a little bit, but it is not the most polished one around, which is a shame because this car looks fabulous. The crash model, it's not. At least the car is quite strong because it took a lot of big crashes, and you can still see the shape of this vehicle, which at least it's good. It's not that it has also a very, very soft body that crumples easily. So at least there is that. The core body of the car is quite strong. It's the body panels that, yeah, maybe need a little bit of love. But as it is already, it's quite a good mod, very cool to drive and to look at. So I really recommend you go and download it yourself to try it, because it is very, very good. I will put, of course, the link in the description for this, and also the tires mod to have that to not have the no texture bug on some configurations. And I think that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.